What if I told you that the same technology that saved millions of lives during the COVID pandemic is now being weaponized against cancer itself? And what if I told you that early results are so promising, they're making oncologists around the world question everything they thought they knew about fighting this disease? Right now, as you're watching this, there are patients walking around cancer-free who, according to traditional medicine, should be dead. We're talking about people with pancreatic cancer, a disease so aggressive that doctors often speak in terms of months, not years. Yet some of these patients are now celebrating their third year of remission, thanks to a revolutionary approach that's turning their own bodies into precision-guided cancer-killing machines. Here's the mind-blowing part. This isn't some distant future fantasy. This is happening right now in hospitals across the globe. And the numbers are absolutely staggering. But before we dive into the data that's making pharmaceutical giants scramble to catch up, let me paint you a picture of what cancer treatment looked like just 5 years ago. Imagine you're diagnosed with glioblastoma, the most aggressive form of brain cancer. Your doctor would sit you down and deliver the devastating news: median survival is just 15 months. You'd undergo surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, treatments that have remained largely unchanged for decades. And despite all that suffering, the outcome would likely be the same. Now imagine if instead of that death sentence, your doctor could create a vaccine specifically designed for your unique tumor. Not a one-size-fits-all treatment, but a personalized weapon that teaches your immune system to recognize and hunt down every single cancer cell in your body. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's not anymore. The breakthrough comes from mRNA technology, the same innovation that gave us COVID vaccines in record time. But here's where it gets really interesting. While COVID vaccines teach your immune system to recognize one virus, cancer vaccines can be programmed to recognize dozens of different targets on your specific tumor. It's like giving your immune system a detailed mugshot of every criminal in your body. Let me share some numbers that will blow your mind. In clinical trials for melanoma, patients receiving mRNA cancer vaccines combined with immunotherapy showed a 49% reduction in the risk of cancer recurrence, or death, after 3 years. Think about that. We're talking about cutting your chances of dying from cancer nearly in half. But that's just the beginning. For pancreatic cancer, a disease with a 5-year survival rate of less than 10%, early trials are showing results that are literally rewriting medical textbooks. In one study, half of the patients mounted a lasting immune response against their cancer cells. Half. For a disease that's traditionally been a death sentence, this is nothing short of miraculous. But here's what's really exciting. We're seeing these results across multiple cancer types. Brain cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, the applications seem limitless. In one ovarian cancer trial, nearly half of patients with advanced stage disease are still alive 8 years after vaccination. 8 years! The median survival for advanced ovarian cancer is typically just 18 months. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. And I get it. We've heard promises about cancer cures before. But here's what makes this different. The science is rock solid, the clinical trials are rigorous, and the results are being replicated across multiple institutions worldwide. The University of Florida just published results showing their mRNA vaccine triggered such a fierce immune response against glioblastoma that it could change how we think about treating this devastating disease. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Clinic is working on a preventive vaccine for triple-negative breast cancer, the most aggressive form of the disease. But perhaps the most exciting development is happening right now in the UK. The National Health Service has just launched the world's first cancer vaccine launchpad, a platform designed to speed up access to personalized cancer vaccines. They're not talking about someday, they're talking about today. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Over 120 clinical trials are currently underway worldwide. Pharmaceutical companies that once focused solely on traditional chemotherapy are now pouring billions into mRNA cancer vaccine research. The momentum is building so fast that experts predict 2025 will be the year we see multiple breakthrough approvals. The technology works like this. Doctors sequence your tumor's DNA and identify the unique mutations that make your cancer different from healthy cells. Then, they create a personalized mRNA vaccine that trains your immune system to recognize these specific mutations. It's like creating a custom-designed assassin that only targets your cancer while leaving healthy cells completely untouched. Think about the implications. No more chemotherapy that makes you violently ill while destroying healthy cells along with cancerous ones. No more radiation that leaves you weak and burned. Instead, you get a vaccine that enlists your body's own immune system, the most sophisticated defense mechanism in the known universe, to fight cancer with surgical precision. The early results are so promising that some researchers are starting to use the word cure, a term that's been largely taboo in cancer research for decades. We're seeing complete responses in patients who had exhausted all other treatment options. We're seeing tumors shrink to undetectable levels. And most importantly, we're seeing patients return to normal, healthy lives. But here's the kicker: this is just the beginning. The current trials are mostly focused on treating existing cancers, but researchers are already looking at the next frontier: prevention. Imagine getting a vaccine that prevents cancer from ever developing in the first place. We're talking about the potential to make cancer as preventable as polio or measles. The technology is advancing so rapidly that what seemed impossible just a few years ago is now becoming routine. AI is being used to identify the best targets for vaccines. Nanotechnology is being employed to deliver treatments more effectively. And machine learning is helping researchers predict which patients will respond best to specific treatments. Major pharmaceutical companies are racing to be first to market with these revolutionary treatments. BioNTech, the company that partnered with Pfizer on the COVID vaccine, is leading the charge with their personalized cancer vaccines. Moderna, not to be outdone, is developing their own platform. And dozens of smaller biotech companies are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The investment dollars tell the story. Venture capital funding for cancer vaccine research has exploded, with billions being poured into this technology. Major cancer centers are establishing dedicated vaccine research programs. And regulatory agencies are fast-tracking approval processes because the potential impact is so enormous. But perhaps the most telling sign of how revolutionary this technology is comes from the patients themselves. In trial after trial, we're seeing people who were given months to live celebrating years of cancer-free survival. We're seeing children with brain tumors returning to school. We're seeing parents who thought they'd never see their kids graduate college now planning for retirement. This isn't just about extending life, it's about preserving quality of life. Unlike traditional treatments that often leave patients debilitated, these vaccines are remarkably well tolerated. Most patients experience only mild side effects, similar to a flu shot. They can continue working, spending time with family, and living their lives while their immune system wages war against cancer. The ripple effects extend far beyond individual patients. Healthcare systems are preparing for a fundamental shift in how cancer is treated. Insurance companies are evaluating coverage policies for personalized treatments. Medical schools are updating their curricula to include immunotherapy and vaccine development. We're standing at the threshold of a new era in cancer treatment. The same technology that helped us conquer a global pandemic is now being turned against humanity's oldest enemy. And based on the early results, cancer doesn't stand a chance. So the next time someone tells you that cancer is unbeatable, remember this: we've cracked the code. We've figured out how to turn the body's own immune system into a precision-guided weapon. And we're just getting started. The cancer vaccine revolution isn't coming, it's here. And it's about to change everything we thought we knew about fighting this disease. The question isn't whether we'll cure cancer anymore. The question is how quickly we can get these life-saving treatments to every patient who needs them. The future of cancer treatment is being written right now, in hospitals and research labs around the world. And for the first time in history, that future looks incredibly bright. If this deep dive into the cancer vaccine revolution inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who's been touched by cancer, because this hope needs to spread. Let us know in the comments. If you or a loved one could access a personalized cancer vaccine today, what type of cancer would you want it to target first? Until next time, keep believing in the power of science, keep supporting medical breakthroughs, and remember, we're not just fighting cancer anymore. We're winning.